Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shea Frank, and today my topic was going to be about this Wiccan, pagan thing that I got into recently. I found that on YouTube videos, and I think that I have done YouTube videos before, and I know I did something about religion and how I feel religion puts you in a shoebox. You're either this or you're that, and I think that we should all believe. You can believe a bit of this or a bit of this or a bit of the other one, and kind of put a thing together yourself. And I have been or got kind of into Jewish fests a couple of years now. I've been not really trying to do them, but understand where they're coming from and what that's about, and so I've tried to do it my way. And so this pagan, neo-pagan Wiccan thing go everywhere on the internet. It's all about witchcraft, and they're all wanting to be witches, or we're all getting into witchcraft and wanting to cast spells and whatever. But I don't want to have anything to do with that, but where it's coming from, and with the wheel of the year and stuff. And it's all about the solstices and the equinox, and well, Jewish holidays or their fests are landing in the springtime and the autumn time, and that's the first fruits and the second coming of Jesus, which is also the autumn fests, which your Wiccan wheel of the year is very similar in the time of their fests. And I mean the Yule and the Estara, which is Easter, festival of the goddess Esther, and Yule is Christmas, and the Jewish have the Hanukkah, which is not Christmas, it's the festival of light. And well, in winter it's darker, there's not so much sun, and so the winter solstices, and so the festival of light is giving us light. So that is why I found this Wiccan thing quite interesting, and now I wanted to talk about my topic for today is that they have a book, what they call the Book of Shadows. Now I thought to myself, I don't want to be calling anything shadows. The shadows is darkness and too much witchy and casting spells and stuff. So I wanted to make for myself a book of enlightenment. And that's how I came about that, was because I thought, what's the opposite of darkness? Well, light. And so that's how I came about the word Book of Enlightenment. And on the YouTube videos that I have watched, people were talking about how to do this, how to make your book kind of like a journal or something. You could take anything you wanted, and we're speaking about on your phone. You could get an app and you can put it in there. But I like good old-fashioned paper and pen, and I happen to have this book anyway. I have this book, and I was already writing down my yoga positions and various different yoga sequences that I do at the front. But it's quite a big book, plenty of pages. I'm not going to do all that yoga positions, and so that is why I'm decided to take the back of it, although later on, sort of middle or towards the back, and make my book of enlightenment. And there's plenty of pages there still to write in it, like a journal. And yeah, so with this Wiccan thing, you can do this, but you don't have to. You can do that, but you don't have to. And so I've been thinking to myself, well, what do I want to do? And so I thought, in order to do this, I thought a book of enlightenment was important. It was important to put this down on paper, to say, right, this I'm going to do. I want to do this, and I'm taking this seriously. And so the first thing, I think it's very important. My belief is the first thing you should do is to make yourself a book of enlightenment where you commit and you say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write these things down. Now, on YouTube videos, you will find what kinds of things comes into their book of shadows, what they want to, they say you should put into your book. And so today, as I said, I'm just going to go over my points that I found was important to put down in writing. Obviously, again, you could do this, but you don't have to. You could do something else. You might find that that's not important for you, but something else is important for you, and that is fine. But it's the first thing, the most important thing was the tools for the altar. That is, for me, something that just belongs there. That is one thing that's important. The tools for the altar can also vary. You can have this, but you don't have to. You can have that, but you don't have to. But I'm not going to go into the details of the actual tools for the altar today. That will be another video. That is just the one thing, the first thing that I think should come into your Book of Enlightenment. As I say, because you've now made this commitment. This is what you're going to do. So I think this is the most important thing. And for me, the next thing is the wine blessing, the wine and bread blessing. I have taken over from Jewish belief system. I do not like the word religion. I do not want to use the word religion. But they have every Friday evening their Sabbath or Sabbat, where they do a wine and bread blessing. And the Wiccans have what they call a cake and ale ritual. Well, cake and ale, you know, it's ale, it's an alcoholic beverage, and something like a wee cookie or something. And the Jewish drink wine and have some sort of bread to eat. But I thought the drinking of wine and the eating of bread was Jesus' blood and Jesus' flesh. This is the blood of Jesus, this is the flesh of Jesus. But we're talking pre-Christian rituals from paganism and the Jewish Friday night Sabbath blessing. So that is why that is now in my Book of Enlightenment, and I have been doing this Friday evening thing for, well, lots of stuff started in the beginning of 2019, and so for me that is a part of my belief system, and I am going to do that, and it's been put into my Book of Enlightenment. Then I have a kind of an explanation to the respecting of the Sabbath, and then the next thing is, then I go on to the Sabbaths. I go into the Wiccan Sabbath, the Wheel of the Year, and they're explained in my Book of Enlightenment. So, and then the next thing is my concepts. I call it concepts and customs of my protected shelter, because laws or rules or something, I didn't want to use that word. I think I'm not going to set down laws, this is the law, and I didn't like that word at all. I have called it my concepts, and so I'll go through my concepts and customs for my protected shelter, which I'm not going to go into this video either. I think there's a lot of things to cover on that, but this is what I mean about laying down your concepts, how you are going to do this, and that is why I think this is the first step to going into this. And then there's the dedication. You should make some kind of dedication, a small ritual or something, that people who have a coven, which that was the word I don't want to use either, but the people that have a coven and do actually meet together in a group of people, physically in a place together because they know each other, you have a kind of initiation kind of thing, you could say. But they have a dedication, and there's a kind of a wee ritual there that they have taken you into their coven. And so I have that, and then the chapter in their books, in their Book of Shadows, they call spell crafting, or spell casting, I think, or spell crafting. So that is the last chapter in my Book of Enlightenment, and then I'm just going to use that now as like a journal to write down my thoughts, my ideas, my where this is going, and then I've got loads and loads of paper still to fill in. The whole idea of it, you can maybe today have this idea, this is what you want to do, and maybe sometime down the line think, well, that's not really what I want to do, and you can always, as I said, it's like keeping a journal, and yeah, then there people have loads of journals, like, I don't know, a journal for this and a journal for that, or whatever, or they've filled out their journals, so they've got loads of them. That's why it's important to have space, and that's why it's the last chapter, that this is the first few chapters is setting down your concepts, and after the last one, like I said, it's called spell crafting, as in, yeah, just where you put your thoughts, your ideas, and what you want. Yes, so I think that's enough for today, and the next video I was going to go into more detail about the altar, the tools for the altar, and so that will be my next video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to you tuning in again next time.